You ever play with your siblings one day and then the next it feels like they can't even look at you because they're so busy? And you feel forgotten and rejected in a way you didn't think a family member could do to you? Yeah, me neither. Welcome to Little Gator. Little Gator is a 2022 3D platforming video game, and guess I carry a lot of pain from growing up I should address, huh? Simulator. It was developed by Mega Wobble and published by Platonic Friends. Mega Wobble is a 3-person team, and this game is their only release so far. Though as of the making of this video, they've announced a DLC, which is very exciting because, and not to spoil the review here, really like this game. Platonic Friends is the publishing branch of Platonic, known for their 2017 game Yooka-Laylee, a collectathon which had a massive Kickstarter campaign and garnered quite a lot of interest. While Yooka-Laylee was a love letter to games like Banjo-Kazooie, Little Gator is deeply inspired by games like The Legend of Zelda. Theming and style of the main character are reminiscent of Link, though instead of wearing green, our eponymous hero is green, really cutting out the middleman. I can appreciate the concise nature. In an interview with website GamerGrin, Connor P. Quinn, the artist, animator, writer, and social media manager of Mega Wobble, lot of hats, admits that the basics of the movement was heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild, but with a silly childlike layer over it all, and a far simpler upgrade path and control scheme, which was a choice made by Mega Wobble's lead developer, Scott Schlucher, as his previous game, Zack, was a good bit more dour in atmosphere and tone, and thus led to Titular Tailed Toddler having a much lighter tone in quest design, storytelling, and visuals. The visuals remind me of A Short Hike, another game about being the littlest beast traveling a big island as a way of coming of age. This kinship was intended by the lead artist, who referenced it in interviews as, quote, dialogue-focused games about animals with big eyes, subgenre, alongside Night in the Woods. This trifecta of games is similar in their soft visuals, calm gameplay, and low stakes but meaningfully consequential story, where nothing world-changing happens, but the emotions and the soul of the story drive interest. Ludo label Lizard also shares an autumnal color scheme with those other games, adding to that softness and languid feeling of the game. The world is slowing down, prepping for winter. Things are colorful and just warm enough to play around. It also brings a nice contrast to the cast's colorful appearances, making them easy to spot against the earthy colors of the environment. The enemies, being fantasy creatures drawn in bright primary colors on cardboard, also benefit from very good readability. There aren't really many accessibility options, which in most games I would be noted as a letdown, but in Gator Gaming's case, so much of what usually requires accessibility options is baked into the game's style and visuals. The game is clean, clear, and bright, with visible prompts, making it very accessible to just about anyone. Little Gator Game had a very crunchy, pixelated look early in the game's development. This was probably closer to the intended styling era. The game felt nostalgic, not quite the literal 3D of the GameCube, which is the era it seems to want to emulate, but more in line with the memories that people tend to have of the games of that time. The pixel look is available in settings if you really like pixel filters that do impromptu cornea surgery on your peepers. Overall, the game's visual style and atmosphere really lends itself into a relaxed, gentle adventure where things are fun and lighthearted, even if the edges of painful growth linger nearby. This sweetness is thoroughly supported by the audio. The audio in this game follows the same philosophy as the visuals, very soft, gentle, and the most rounded in its soundscape. Very few sharp or straining sounds keep the game very relaxed and easy to listen to. The sound effects are suitably silly, all soft paper and cardboard tearing sounds, and gentle but still heroic bonks. All the voice acting is done by pitching or pacing up and down the same popping sounds that accompany much of the game's interactions, like picking up confettis or pressing buttons in the UI. While not terribly bad, it did get a little grating to me by the end of my playthrough, and I do wish that there was more done to differentiate speaking voices, maybe something akin to Animal Crossing's voice synthesizer style, which would be a fitting reference. The soft, cozy music changes depending on location and nearby points of interest. Every section of the map has its own theme that gives it a bit of character, and each segment has a softer mix. Those are played when nearby the many memories Baby Gator and Big Sis share on the island. While it is very pleasant, I feel that the music kind of disappears in the background and kind of lacks notable character. I don't think this is a major issue. This game does not need a bombastic score, but it does not quite meet the excitement the protagonist shows for the world. Excitement that is, however, very well shown in gameplay. The gameplay is, not to repeat myself, quite simple. but pleasantly enough it was fairly deep. The game can easily be beaten with the most surface level use of the various traversal mechanics. The major pieces of your kit are unlocked very early on, but the most fun parts are to be found and earned by being a hero. There's a shield that is used to skittle on the ground and never to block a single blow, and there's a big glider with a very subtle reference that totally isn't just a shirt. Oh, and the little beasts can use their tiny little claws to grip and climb in a way that would make mountain goats blush, especially when you have the bracelets and become a true deity of endurance. The combat, if you can call it that, is effectively just a melee attack where you swing your favorite flavor of sticks. We got the hero sword, regular sword, paintbrush sword, fairy sword, grabby sword, copyright infringement sword, and Japanese whiskey sword. After the tutorial island, you quickly unlock your first throwable weapon, the Humble Stone, very good for skipping. Other options are the Throwing Star for when you're sneaky, the Paint Super Soaker, very messy, and the oh my god they've got a gun, get down. Lastly, your arsenal is completed by a few miscellaneous abilities your fun friends at the park can show you. Let's see what the first one you found is. That can't be safe. Well, there's chewing gum that lets you blow bubble to slowly rise into the air, or, send you straight into the stratosphere with the right combination. Later you can use a normal balloon, which I'm sure is easier on your alligator jaw, and there's also a genuine DSLR camera, which I feel a bunch of prepubescent kids should not be throwing around, but I guess I'm just old. More stuff is unlocked as you go, all related to your various friends around the place. Friends, which make up the central part of story, characters, and themes. As with the rest of the game, the story is quite simple, but very emotionally resonant to me. Lil Gator is a player avatar in that you control them and pick their name, but they still have their own personality. They're upbeat, energetic, and a little airheaded. They always mean the best, even if they don't necessarily know what the best is or how to approach it. They are struggling with the fact that Big Sis, their college-aged sister, is swamped with work and thus cannot partake in the usual fall time playing outside. Little Gator's greatest strength, as well as their flaw, is their gentle naivete, which is expected of a young child. To me, it shows a fear, or at least a shying away from growing up, that it will take away their joy rather than alter and change it. It is an understandable fear for a child growing into a world that is bigger than themselves and needing to figure out who and what they are. But their large heart also brings together the others. It is a strength when wielded to unify, the heart of a hero. And when their attempt at getting Big Sis to play doesn't quite succeed, Lil Gator still manages to gather people around them and create something great. While your intended goal might not crystallize how you wanted it, something good came of it. If we look at the game through the lens of something you could share with a kid, this sweet softness makes Lil Gator approachable and friendly, while the themes the game grapples with are accessible while not talking down to a younger audience. This approach of talking to children in a manner that respects the fact that they are people capable of thought and empathy really elevates the game for me. In conclusion, I think you deserve to treat yourself to something softer. Not all needs to be grit. This game is sweet, fun, gentle, and bite-sized. I think it deserves a look, as it is the perfect length for an afternoon, about 2 to 3 hours depending on your completion interest. It is a game you can easily play after work and alongside a young child. In a world of live service grind-a-thon, it is honestly a valuable trait for a game to have. Check it out, link below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for your time. Stay safe out there. God knows it will get harder before it gets any easier. But I know you got this. You're capable.